What to expect from your first therapy session with BetterHelp. Whether you're struggling with a specific mental illness, a major life transition, or just the everyday challenges of life, therapy can be a useful way to support your mental health. Online platforms can help make seeing a therapist more convenient and affordable. But what is it actually like to start therapy with BetterHelp? Hi there, I'm David Yadush, LPCC, and I'm here to talk to you about what to expect from your first therapy session with BetterHelp. In this video, we'll also discuss the process of getting matched with a therapist, as well as some things to keep in mind as you're starting your therapy journey. Let's dive in. How can I find the right therapist? If you've never worked with a therapist before, you might be surprised to learn that therapy isn't one size fits all. There are dozens of different approaches and variations. For example, cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, focuses on helping you identify and shift unhelpful thoughts. This can be useful for treating conditions like anxiety and depression. On the other hand, treatments like couples therapy are designed to help romantic partners manage challenges in their relationship. Different therapists may specialize in different therapy types. Some therapists may also be more experienced working with certain groups of people, such as people of color, or addressing specific mental health concerns like trauma or substance use disorders. When you get started with BetterHelp, you'll answer some questions about yourself, your mental health, your reasons for seeking therapy, and your other preferences. Your responses are then used to match you with a therapist who suits your needs. But remember, you don't have to stick with the first therapist you're assigned. As you're getting started, it can be helpful to reflect on whether there are any specific traits you're looking for in a therapist. For example, it can be common to want to talk to a therapist of your same gender. Some people also prefer therapists who are specializing in LGBTQ-related topics, specific mental health concerns, or specific types of therapy. Thinking through your preferences ahead of time can help you find a therapist who's a good fit. What should I expect in my first therapy session? Once you've found a therapist, what happens next? We'll take a closer look in a moment, but in the meantime, remember to give this video a like and subscribe to the BetterHelp YouTube channel for more videos like this. So, what does that first therapy session look like? Let's talk through what you can expect. On your first day of in-person therapy, you may be asked to fill out a mental health questionnaire, which can help your therapist learn about you and your reasons for seeking therapy. With BetterHelp, you answer many of these questions ahead of time as part of the sign-up process. But your therapist may still have questions for you based on the answers you gave earlier. That's why your first session with your BetterHelp therapist is often focused on getting to know you better. Your therapist may ask you about your background, your work situation, your family life, health, hobbies, or any other information that's relevant to your therapy journey. Try to answer these questions as honestly as you can. At this point, you're still getting to know your therapist, so they most likely won't jump straight into difficult questions. That's part of the reason your first session will usually be more of a get-to-know-you session. This can help build trust and ease you into the therapy process. That said, your therapist may ask you more detailed questions about what you're hoping to get out of therapy. Your answers can help you and your therapist set goals for your therapy journey, which can be a useful way to track your progress over time. If you're struggling with a specific mental health challenge, your therapist might also give you some initial suggestions for managing your symptoms. However, this doesn't always happen, and it can be common for therapists to wait to start treatment until the second session. It can be helpful to think of your first therapy session as a bit like an interview. It's a way for your therapist to get the information they need to come up with a treatment plan that's right for you. What are some questions I should ask during my first session? Your first therapy session is a chance for you and your therapist to get to know each other, explore the challenges you're facing, and make a plan for accomplishing your goals. And that goes both ways. As you're talking to your therapist, don't hesitate to ask them any questions you may have about themselves or the therapy process. If you're curious about things like their experience or how long they've been practicing, this can be a good opportunity to ask those questions. If you're not familiar with the specific type of therapy your therapist practices, consider asking them to walk you through the process. Therapy tends to be most successful when you trust your therapist and feel comfortable. So don't hesitate to bring up anything else you're curious, nervous, or uncertain about. Keep in mind that finding the right therapist can sometimes take some trial and error. As you complete your first few therapy sessions, it can be helpful to reflect on how you feel talking to your therapist. You may need to give the relationship some time to develop before you know for sure if you want to keep working with them. That said, not everyone connects well with the very first therapist they work with. Platforms like BetterHelp make it easy to switch therapists at any time for no additional cost, so there's no penalty if your first therapist isn't quite the right fit. Once you've been matched with a therapist, your first session with BetterHelp is a chance to build the foundation of your relationship. Do your best to be honest, reflect on your goals, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Although your actual treatment might not start on the first day, your first session can help set the stage for a successful therapy journey. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any future mental health content. Until next time.